My top 5 is Doom Part 2, If, Inside Out 2, Brats, and very surprisingly, I don't know why this hit me as hard as it did, but I loved the film on Netflix called um, Mother of the Bride. That hit me just in the right spot on the right day, and it just clicked so magically with me. And it's my type of film, but normally that film doesn't get that high of a grade, and I love it that much. But everything else is above and beyond. It's going to be hard to beat it.
Noah, you may have given me the perfect segue because I did want to end on a movie review, and the movie I wanted to review was Brats. I wanted to talk about Brats, and if you saw it, that's great. We could talk about it a little bit, but you say it's one of your favorites of the year.
Yes, it's my fourth favorite film of the entire year, and my all-time favorite film is The Breakfast Club.
Okay,
So I'm
okay.
super interested in it.
I unfortunately I got to give it a negative review. I was very excited to see it. I was really excited to see it because Breakfast Club is also one of my favorite movies. I have a autographed Breakfast Club poster hanging on the wall. Oh, I don't know if you're going to be able to see it. Yeah, there it is. Signed by all 5 of them. Emilio, Anthony Michael Hall, Judd Nelson, Molly Ringwald, Ali Sheedy. They all signed it. I love The Breakfast Club. And I love Pretty in Pink, and I love all those movies. I'm playing at 16 Candles.
San Animal's Fire, Class.
Yeah, so I'm a big fan. I was very interested in that movie when I heard about it, and I gotta say, I found it to be a bummer of a movie because it's pretty much 90 minutes of Andrew McCarthy being miserable and talking about how much that term Breakfast Club hurt his career. And I don't know. I'm watching the movie. I was so excited going into it, and I just felt like my enthusiasm sapping as I watched it because I just felt like, man, this guy is just so hung up over this one article from 40 some years ago. And some of those guys, like Rob Lowe, we see Rob Lowe in it, has a very healthy attitude about it. Demi Moore seems to have a pretty healthy attitude about it. Emilio Estevez doesn't like it either. He's not a fan of the term, but he seems to have moved on. It just seems like Andrew McCarthy is stuck in a moment in time and can't get over this. And I keep thinking, like, maybe you shouldn't be making a documentary. Maybe you should have a therapist. I think that's what you need here. I don't know. That was my opinion because I went into it extremely excited, and I just couldn't dig it. I thought so. I'm excited to hear you liked it actually because I haven't heard that from many people. Like I've seen on Facebook, a lot of people didn't care for it either. So I'd love to hear you talk about
Facebook.
For me, why I loved it. I love all those films, but I loved it just because we've never heard them go this far into why they hate this term. It ruined some of their lives because they got typecast super easily. But why I liked it is because we could see each of them and they get to talk about how it helped them early in life, but also what they learned from it. So as an aspiring actor myself, this helps me because they were super young in those films and they are giving me a lot of info that could potentially help me. But with these films, I was super scared that they were going to hinge and lean on each of these films and show you multiple clips, and that's all it was going to be, was a clip show and him saying, so how did this affect you? How did this affect you? And being called the Brat Pack and being called the Brat. What Estevez said, he was labeled as the leader of it, just because he was in 3 of them that they were labeled the Brat Pack films: the Breakfast Club, St. Elmo's Fire, and apparently Young Guns. What was considered a Brat Pack film, oddly, and I don't know why it
I
was.
never considered it one myself.
No, he just said that it's considered one. He doesn't know why, only because he's in it. So anything that they were in, it was considered a Brat Pack film. And I found it so disheartening that they never wanted to work with any of them again. Any
Yeah,
of their friends
yeah.
again.
Emilio Estevez mentions that there was a movie he and Andrew McCarthy were supposed to do together. And after that article came out, he said, I won't do it with Andrew McCarthy. You have to drop him because I can't be on screen with him because then we'll be seen as this Brat Pack.
Sad.
And another thing I thought was
sorry,
interesting.
guys, I gotta get going. I just wanted to say goodbye. Sorry, I was. Just
We're gonna be wrapping soon anyway. But it's good. Thanks for being on here. I appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem, man. It was awesome talking to you guys. Fun conversation. Later.
See you, man.
The other thing I thought was really interesting was when they were talking about how they don't even know who the Brat Pack were. They're having disagreements about the Brat. Like they're asking John Cryer, "Were you a member of the Brat Pack?" And he's like, "No, I wasn't in the Brat Pack." Then they asked Leah Thompson. She says, "I was Brat Pack adjacent." Honestly, I think if we're being honest, I think there's only one reason Leah Thompson was in the movie. And that's because he interviewed her husband. Like it's like, I'm interviewing your husband. Oh, Leah's here. Let's get her in the dock. Molly Ringwald and Judd Nelson shot me down. So that's just one other person to talk to.
Molly, I'm not surprised because her being in the Brat Pack and labeled in the Brat Pack hurt her career so much because she couldn't get any roles besides that really affected her upcoming star.
But she's more than willing though to do conventions and appear on panels like she'll do Breakfast Club panels and things at cons. So it doesn't seem like she is I don't know if it's just the words. Like I don't know if you mention those movies, she's fine with it, but if you call it Brat Pack, that's where she draws the line.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It's interesting. It is interesting. So
I would have loved to have seen him try to get like a is the principal from the Breakfast Club still alive or did he pass away?
No, he passed away several years ago.
Okay.
But you know who they never mention? They never reference. They never mention Anthony Michael Hall. I think it's generally agreed. Anthony Michael. When you think Brat Pack, I think you think Anthony Michael Hall. He's definitely. I don't think anyone disagrees that he's part of the Brat Pack. They don't mention him.
And they never brought him up or showed him except for the Breakfast Club, and he was in that and Weird Science,
Pretty in Pink,
16 Candles. Yeah.
Oh yeah, six, I said Pretty in Pink. Yeah, 16 Candles. Yeah.
3 of those films, and Estevez was labeled. But Estevez was the main lead in most of those. But with Hall, he was a bigger star because he was younger. He was, 16 when he shot 16 Candles? Or was he 15?
I don't know. He's pretty young.
Somewhere around there. And he probably didn't. He might not have got asked. He might not have got asked because Molly and him dated shortly after 16 Candles and before the Breakfast Club. So I don't know if there was a falling out there and they might not want to do the same project. Judd, I think Judd might have just been very busy. And that's why he might not have been able to do it.
Well, Judd Nelson's a tough guy to get in touch with. I know that from experience because he was the last guy I needed to sign my Breakfast Club poster. And he never was doing cons. He never, like, you couldn't find the guy. It was like, nobody gets Judd Nelson. This is amazing. When he finally got booked at the Rhode Island Comic-Con. Rhode Island's 5 hours away from me. I don't know if she's still in the audience, but Lisa Soares was watching. She was in the chat a little while ago. But Lisa lives in Rhode Island. And I actually crashed with her at her place because Judd Nelson got announced at the Rhode Island Comic Con, and I said, well, this is it. I got to go to Rhode Island. He's the only one who hasn't signed my poster. So I went all the way to Rhode Island to meet him, and I got to hang out with Lisa, which was awesome too. So
I love the movie, and I completely get why you didn't. But that's the great thing. We can have a smart talk about it and not talk down to each other with different opinions.
Yeah, and guess what? It didn't kill the Breakfast Club for me. Me not liking that doesn't make me go, well, the Breakfast Club is ruined.
It's now the worst film I've ever seen. I can never see that film again, or any of the Brat Pack films again, because I liked this film and it makes them miserable. No, no.
Well, we're gonna wrap things up now. I've been going for almost an hour and a half. Noah, tell everyone where they can find you.
Well, I have a show on YouTube called Noah Kaser Live, and I have a Hallmark podcast called Heart Full of Hallmark Podcast with my two co-hosts, great girls. And you can find me on Instagram, on Facebook, and Twitter, and Letterboxd at Noah Kaser. I just hit 1,070 subs on YouTube, so I'm very happy about that. I finally hit that 1,000 sub mark, which is hard to do after 5 years, but you can find me there. I have a live show every single week, and new Hallmark podcast coming weekly with 2 fun interviews with a filmmaker and a director coming soon.
Fantastic. All right, everybody, we're going to wrap this up. Thanks for watching. Appreciate your time. And hey, keep wearing those pajamas.
Keep wearing those pajamas with the plastic feet. Keep wearing those pajamas. Tell everyone you meet. Keep wearing those pajamas with the back door flap. Keep wearing those pajamas. Don't open it, it's a trap. Oh no, it's a trap. Some people call them PJs, some people call them jammies. They can come embroidered with big money and no whammies. They can have 100 tiny commander adamas, but no matter how they look, just keep on wearing those pajamas. Keep on wearing those pajamas. Keep wearing those pajamas. I know we're having fun. Keep wearing those pajamas. And now the song is done.